In our last video of IFRS and GAAP, we have received various comments that you people wanted to have a simplified version of IFRS, Ind AS and GAAP. So today in our video we are going to discuss what is Ind AS, what is IAS, what is definitely IFRS, and again Ind AS, and lastly GAAP. So my request is that don't skip this video, watch properly so that you can understand all these terminologies. So let us start, friends. What is Ind AS? We will give is an introduction to that also, but first let us understand these five terminologies: GAAP, AS, Ind AS, IAS and IFRS. So out of all these terms, basically which is the biggest terminology? Tell me, which is the biggest terminology? So it is GAAP. Why we are saying that GAAP is the biggest terminology? Because GAPs cover all these four. So GAAP is wider terminology. It covers all these below four: AS, Ind AS, IAS and IFRS. So that's why it is the biggest terminology out of these all five terminologies. Now let us understand what is GAAP. Okay, GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles. So GAAP can be classified into two: national GAAP, AS, and international GAAP, IAS. So it is clear from the name itself, AS is accounting standard, right, and IAS is international accounting standard. So before IFRS, what used to happen is national GAAP was into existence and international GAAP was into existence, IAS was into existence. National GAAP accounting standards are basically standards which are made for its own accounting purposes. It is used by that country only, right? So when a country makes its own accounting standards, it is used for only that country. These are AS accounting standards, national GAAP. So for example, like India made AS accounting standard for themselves, right? And in the similar manner, United States made US GAAP, which is also used there as accounting standard. So now the question comes, what is international GAAP, right? So many countries come together, okay, they come together and prepared one single statement, a combined statement. So there is one standard which is followed in several countries, it is international GAAP. So they come all together and then prepare a single set of statements, and then they follow, all countries put together follow this single set of statement. So these are international GAAP or IAS. For example, it is followed by UK and several other European countries. So these are international GAAP, IAS. We understood the difference between national GAAP and international GAAP, and we understood also what is a GAAP, right? These are generally accepted accounting principles. So this we understood GAAP. GAAP is of national GAAP, AS accounting standards. A nation prepare its own accounting standards, then it is national GAAP. International GAAP, when many countries come together and prepare a single set of standards and they follow them, all countries follow the same set of standards, then this is IAS. Now the question arises, how does IFRS come into play, right? We understood these three terminologies, GAAP, AS, IAS, right? So we have to understand how does IFRS come into play and what is the need of IFRS. So this is the most important question. Just give your focus, full attention to this. We are proceeding on into IFRS. So now friends, let us understand what is the need for IFRS. Why IFRS need arises? Very simple, because all countries want to attract more and more foreign investment into their countries. And why they want foreign investments? Because there is infrastructure development that has to be done, right? As we all know, all countries' growth is dependent majorly on infrastructure development of that country, and for that purpose they need to attract foreign investment as large as they can. But there is difficulty into these foreign investors that they cannot understand particular countries' accounting standards. So for example, if a country falls into national GAAP and it's prepare its own accounting standards, then they have difficulty in understanding financial statements due to different sets of accounting standards followed. There might be a possibility that some companies make assets classification into expenses, or vice versa, or some companies classify income as a liability, or vice versa. So they wanted to have a clear understanding of financial statements before going to invest into a particular country. So what is the need of IFRS? to promote and attract foreign investment for nation growth. So this foreign investment they want for nation growth, for infrastructure development, for various other fields also they want to attract foreign investment in that country. They want to eliminate different reporting for companies having offices in more than one country. So for example, an Indian company want to already have business in other country, and they followed separate set of standards there. Now they follow here also separate set of standards. So there is so many reporting requirements, and there is so many complexities involved. To eliminate this type of complexities, this the need for IFRS actually comes into the picture. Further, there would be an improved quality and comparability of the financial reporting. You can have a good comparison with XYZ company of the same field of XYZ company into another country of the same field, right? Now this IFRS will also be globally accepted principles. So basically all countries, all companies across the globe will accept these principles and prepare the financial statements. So these are globally accepted principles, and they also improve cross-border trade and investment. So if you want to attract, for example, investment, or you want to trade something, then also it will help, because your financials are easily understandable by different countries, different companies across the globe. So that is why there was need for IFRS. So friends, now as we understood that what was the need for IFRS, and now let us understand how we can IFRS compliant, how a country can be IFRS compliant. It can be done into two ways. First is IFRS adopt. They can adopt the IFRS as it is, so they won't change anything and they will adopt as it is. So this will be IFRS adopt. And second is IFRS converge. So IFRS converge means you will make some modifications to this IFRS statement, but this will be more or less in line with IFRS. You will comply with major IFRS rules and regulations or major guidelines, right? So IFRS adopt means to adopt IFRS as it is, and countries adopt IFRS prepared by IASB. IASB is International Accounting Standard Board, right? Let us understand what is IFRS converge. So IFRS converge, preparing on standard but in line with IFRS. So the countries will prepare their own standard, but it will be definitely in line with the IFRS. So now we understood that IFRS compliant can be done into two ways by each of the countries: IFRS adopt and IFRS converge, right? I'll ask you a question, whether India is adopted IFRS or India is IFRS converge. Very simple, India is IFRS converge. India actually started making their all Indian AS, which is mostly in line with IFRS. Okay, so now as you understood that if we make our own accounting standards which are in line with IFRS, so these are basically Ind AS. So fourth topic we have understood, right? Now let us recap that national GAAP we already discussed, which was earlier. For example, India used to follow AS, accounting standards. When a country used their own accounting standards, that was AS, accounting standard, or that was also called as national GAAP. Now new version of AS is Ind AS, which is in line with IFRS. After IFRS come into picture, this new version of AS in India is Ind AS, right? Now in similar terms, international GAAP, there was international GAAP, which is IAS. Okay, when so many countries come together and prepare a single set of standards, that was international GAAP, we discussed already. Now new version of IAS is IFRS. Correct. So now we have understood that national GAAP is now after IFRS is Ind AS, and international GAAP IAS is IFRS. We understood all these 5 terminologies, right? So now I have made a chart which will give you more clear picture. We have understood GAAP, general accepted accounting principles. It is a wider concept. It covers, right, the four different terminologies which we discussed already. First is national GAAP, which is earlier accounting standard AS, and new version after IFRS it is Ind AS, right, in India. Now in the similar pattern, international GAAP, when many countries come together and made a single set of statements. So that was earlier IAS, International Accounting Standards. Now after IFRS it is new version is IFRS, right? So, and we also discussed the IFRS compliant can be in two ways. First is IFRS adopt, and second is IFRS Converge, to adopt as it is IFRS or to prepare accounting standards in line with IFRS, that is IFRS Converge, right? We also discussed what was the need for IFRS, because we want to remove disparity and follow same set of standards for all countries. We want to remove disparity and follow same set of standards for all countries. So there should not be any differences, and there is same set of accounting standard which is follow for all countries. That was the main reason behind why the need for IFRS arises, right? We also want to attract foreign funds for the development of the nation, and further, this is the most important thing, that IFRS disclosure requirements are very wide as compared to AS. So IFRS has a detailed disclosure requirement so that the accounts are clear and they give more true and fair view of the financial statements. So these are more detailed disclosure requirements. Now let us further understand. So when these are basically the rules were notified on 16 February 2015, MCA, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs in India, notified companies Indian Accounting Standard Rules 2015. So MCA has notified this companies Indian Accounting Standard Rules 2015 in February 2015, right? So Ind AS, this has been referred as Ind AS, and this rule has notified 39 Indian accounting standards. Now we will understand its applicability. So certain class of companies it will apply to, in initial phases it will apply to certain class of companies. And what is the date of applicability? So voluntary adoption, there is two type of adoption. If you go for voluntary adoption, if you yourself go for adoption of this, then date is 1st April 2015. And if you go for mandatory adoption in phase 2, some companies it is April 2017, and some companies has been kept out of phase 2 dates also. So they have made certain rules for that purpose. We will discuss in our next videos what are these rules and which are the companies which are included or excluded out of this IFRS compliance requirements, right? And this voluntary adoption is definitely a voluntary, it is not a compulsory adoption for the companies, but they can definitely go after 1st April 2015 voluntary also. So friends, this was a basic brief on IFRS which we discussed already. So we have discussed GAAP, AS, Ind AS, IAS and IFRS. Always remember that the GAAP is a wider concept. It covers all these 4 concepts below, and GAAP is a much wider concept. So thank you friends, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all these types of videos, and definitely we keep on coming on with more videos on IFRS, financial statements, and we also post on our YouTube channel, we also keep on posting various job opportunities for chartered accountants, for company secretaries, for CMAs also. So if you subscribe, you will definitely be benefited for that. So stay tuned, and till then, take care, bye. And please like and share our videos. Support me by subscribing my YouTube channel, and please share it with your friends and group circles. Thank you.